Today, we're going to talk about something that's, well, it's a really personal feeling, and it can be tough to put into words. It's that feeling of being chronically unchosen. You know, that quiet sense that you're always on the sidelines, but never really the main event. So let's unpack what's really going on there.
So let me ask you this, and just take a second to really let it sink in. Have you ever been in a room, maybe with family or a group of friends, and you just get this sinking feeling? That feeling that, yeah, you're physically there, but you're not really central to anything. Like your job is to be the supporter, but you're never the one being supported? Well, that feeling, it has a name, and it has a really deep story behind it.
All right, so let's start by digging into what psychologists call the unchosen wound. And this isn't just about feeling left out once or twice. No, this is much deeper. It's a whole belief system you might have about your own value.
At its absolute core, feeling unchosen is this gut belief that you're not just inherently worthy of love or belonging. It's the feeling that your value is something you have to prove over and over again. Your spot in any group, family, friends, wherever, it feels conditional. Like it could be taken away at any moment if you stop performing, or giving, or just being useful.
So now that we kind of get what it is, the next big question is, where in the world does this come from? And for most people, the blueprint for this feeling gets drawn up way back in early childhood. To really understand this, we've got to talk about a huge idea in psychology, attachment theory. And, put simply, the theory just says that the way our parents or caregivers respond to us when we're babies creates a kind of mental map. It's a blueprint for how we expect all our future relationships to work. It's basically our first lesson in how love works.
And this right here shows the two very different paths this can take. On one side, you have a child with a secure attachment. They learn, I am loved just for being me, it's safe to have needs. But on the other side, well, a child with an insecure attachment learns a much tougher lesson. They learn, my needs are a hassle. I have to be useful or quiet or perfect to earn love.
And this is so crucial. This feeling almost always comes from a specific kind of childhood environment. Now, when we say neglect, we're not always talking about a lack of food or a roof over your head. So often we're talking about emotional neglect, a lack of a parent really seeing you, validating you, celebrating you for exactly who you are.
And that kind of experience wires a set of core beliefs deep, deep into a child's brain. It becomes the silent soundtrack playing on a loop in the background of their life. I am replaceable. My needs don't really matter. I have to earn my spot here.
So a kid doesn't just leave these beliefs in childhood. Nope. They get packed up and brought right into adulthood, where they show up as these powerful, often subconscious patterns. So let's look at what that actually looks like in day-to-day life.
Okay, so take a look at these for a second. Do any of them hit a little too close to home? Always giving, 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 but feeling super awkward when someone tries to give you a compliment or a gift? Tying your entire self-worth to how much you get done in a day? Being a total people pleaser even when it means ignoring what you want? That constant nagging anxiety that your friends or your partner are going to find someone better? And oh boy, that deep fear of asking for help because you just don't want to be a burden.
And I really want to pause here, because this is probably the most important thing to hear. If you recognize yourself in those things, you have to understand, these are not character flaws. You're not just needy or insecure. These are brilliant survival strategies that you developed as a child to make sure you were safe and to get your needs met. They worked for you then, but they might not be serving you anymore.
So, if these old patterns aren't serving you, what can you actually do about it? Well, the great news is, this is not a life sentence. Just becoming aware of it is the first giant leap. The path forward is really all about learning how to finally choose yourself. Here are 4 totally manageable first steps. First, just acknowledge it. Give that feeling a name, the unchosen feeling, and try to do it without judging yourself. Second, start practicing self-compassion. When that mean inner voice pops up, consciously talk to yourself with kindness. Third, and this is a big one, start asking a new question. Before you agree to anything, pause and ask, wait, what do I actually want right now? And finally, start with tiny boundaries. Saying no to one small thing you don't want to do can feel like a revolution.
So we'll leave you with this question to really think about. What would change in your life, your relationships, your work, your everyday choices, if you operated from the core belief that your worth is inherent, it's absolute, and it was never, ever up for negotiation? That right there is the work, and it's the beginning of finally truly choosing yourself.